Hello and welcome back to the boys on the field. It is episode 23, but this just might be the most anticipated episode we've ever done. Yeah, if you've been living under a damn rock and don't really know what the hell is going on, Canada, we are on to the round of 16 thanks
Yeah.
to a glorious, glorious goal by one Stephen Eustaquio. My name is Ethan Gabor, and as always, I am joined by Ben Griffith, Anthony Big Tones Lancioni, and Anthony Santia. We're gonna break it all down for you guys here. But first, I just gotta ask, I'll throw this out to whoever wants to take it right away. I mean, is this the best you've ever felt getting ready to do an episode, boys?
Yes.
All right, that was a
That's it.
quick one.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Positively, man.
we were itching. I think before the final whistle even blew, I think Santia was like, "When are we doing the next podcast?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was a bit of a stressful day on Sunday for quite a bit of it, but of course that goal hits the back of the net and it just turned into what I would only describe as one of the greatest sporting moments in Canadian history. We'll start off here. We'll do a bit of a recap here of the game and then kind of take a look ahead to this coming week where Canada has also now learned their opponent for the round of 16. It will be Morocco after they beat Netherlands on pens late last night and made me only get about 5.5 hours of sleep today. So I'll start this off just kind of throwing it out. Santia, I'll bring this to you first, man. I just want to ask, take me through kind of your day Sunday, getting to the game. Where'd you watch this game? Just how did you enjoy your day on Sunday?
Yeah. Well, my day started depressingly. I woke up at 5 a.m. for work. I told my
Okay.
boss, I think it was on Thursday of last week. I told him, I said, look, I know we start at 6. No, we start at 7. I'm like, I'm coming in at 6. I'm leaving at 2:30. Canada's playing. And he goes, unfortunately, insert company name doesn't give a shit about Canadian soccer. And I said, that's funny because we are one of their official sponsors. So
Mm.
interesting there, but I punched out, went home, watched at my girlfriend's house, who actually ironically wasn't there. I was watching it with her father, who born in Portugal, big soccer guy. Um, Fast forward, they score. He starts shaking his ass. That was incredible. He's waddling. He's like, "Let's go!" I'm like, "Dude, yes, yeah, phenomenal. Very nervy going through the day at work." Then I speed over to her house. Thankfully, she's 5 minutes away from my work. Got in just as everyone was walking out, so I didn't miss anything, thankfully. Then I remembered I don't have my jersey on, so I dove headfirst down the stairs into her basement, climbed up, had a broken foot. It's all right. Put on my jersey, then climbed up the stairs, watched the game, proudly sang the national anthem. Then me and my girlfriend's father were screaming at the TV about how South Africa was playing with 4 goalies the entire game, but it is what it is. Canada ultimately got the dub, and I might have shed a couple tears, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would kind of share that same sentiment with you. Shedding tears, I mean, again, it was just such a powerful moment for not only Canadian football, but just Canadian sport in general. Dare I argue, I mean, well, we can get into this maybe a little bit later, but could be maybe the greatest sporting moment in our history. I don't know. Ben, how are you doing? How was your experience just watching that game? Where'd you watch it from? Take me through your side.
Yeah, I watched it at home as well with my mom, my dad, my sister, and my girlfriend. Didn't sit down at all throughout the entire 90 minutes. And yeah, I was nervous eating. I couldn't stand still. I don't want to interrupt though, really quickly. I know the three of us, Santia. I mean, you're in the away, so I guess
No,
we're
it's
all
fine.
kind of
No, no, it's fine.
we're in
Don't worry about it.
uniform, but I'm gonna have to change really quickly because I have my my
Oh,
my prop I want to introduce right away. This is the
okay.
newest jersey in my collection. It is the 2012
Ooh.
centenary kit. It's got the O Canada voice
Oh,
note
we
there,
get,
1912 on
yeah,
the back. I'll be switching into this really quickly after I'm done my point. But yeah,
yeah.
unbelievable experience. Just amazing watching Canada in a knockout round game, and then as tight as it was to get that win like we did. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable.
Absolutely. Tones, I'll kind of throw it over to you. And just so we kind of differentiate, I guess, a little bit, we're not all just saying how much we love this day and everything like that. I want to kind of start getting into the game here and, kind of just looking at maybe the first 20-ish minutes or so as we kind of get towards kind of near half. First 20-ish, pretty chill. There wasn't much traction getting through the midfield at all through either side. And then South Africa, they ended up getting the first opportunity of the game. Obviously, there was a good save by Crepeau to basically he made a diving stop pretty early on in the game. Just what was your kind of take on the first 20, 30 minutes or so of that match?
think they looked a bit nervy to start,
Hmm.
which is to be expected. Maybe South Africa were a little more calm to start, and then the nerves kind of hit them later on in the game when Canada was really starting to bring the pressure. And I think that's where the home crowd, because we definitely had more supporters
Hmm.
in there. I think that's it can kind of you can kind of get too nervy early on when you have that type of support because the energy's huge, it's loud, it's crazy. But then when they start
Hmm.
getting behind you and start lifting you, I think that's when they start to ease into the game. They had some good moments early on. There's a certain player that kind of killed some of them. We'll get into him later. I think we all know who I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but honestly, that one South Africa chance, that's all they really got throughout the
Hmm.
entire game, or at least like shot on target. There were a couple other moments where they had some really nice passing segments, like one touch, kind of just like carving us, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know you guys had that. I didn't know you had that in your bag. Nobody there plays in a top flight division. I was like, okay, damn. But end of the day, the nerves all went away. It was just the biggest sigh of relief when that ball hit the back of the net. Man, I was at the pub. Shout out to Lionheart. Santia knows good things happen when you go to the Lionheart pub.
All right.
If we were there for Olympic gold, Canada would have won. So, yeah, at 6 in the
Well,
morning or whatever it
there was
was, they
one
would have
game that
won.
didn't go well, but we don't
Oh,
talk
because
about
we
that.
left early. We left
That,
early.
that
So
is
That's
true.
so
That
why.
is true.
so what
Oh,
I'm hearing is you guys have to go to the Lionheart pub like for every single game, like from now on,
Start
basically.
coughing. Go outside.
I
Lick a
got
lick a
I
lepo.
gotta swap a 1 to 9 shift. Try to get a night shift.
Oh man, dude,
I know
I
Ben
feel
won't
you
be
there.
swapping.
Yeah.
I know Ben works Saturday night. He won't be swapping that. I know. I know.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to work on this Saturday, and for good reason. Just kind of getting back into the game, obviously, as you kind of pointed out there, Anthony, there was not a whole lot that kind of went on for the first little bit, besides South Africa's one dangerous chance. And then kind of as this game sort of got going a little bit, once we kind of get past, I think it was like 23rd, 22nd minute, whatever it was, Canada gets an absolutely glorious chance. And the fact from when Eustaquio hit that free kick and goes right to the head of Cornelius, but ultimately doesn't go in. Looking at that, I'll go back to you, Santia, on this one here. When we look back at that play there, erase everything else kind of from your mind as to what happened during that game. Just take me through kind of your viewing of that, what you thought of that, and how they're able to kind of go forward after.
Yeah, so it was a really nice ball in from Estacchio, who obviously, as we know now, one player of the match, deservedly so. Even without his goal, he just really dictated the tempo of the game. But it was a really good ball in, and Cornelius jumps slightly early, gets a touch on it, but ultimately doesn't go in, doesn't really trouble the keeper. But it we've seen that from Cornelius a lot in the World Cup. He's had a lot of headers, like attempts so far in the World Cup through the 4 games. And the poor guy just every time either jumps too early or too late, but just he hasn't scored yet.
Hmm.
It's that was really Canada's first big chance in the game. I don't know if you're
Hmm.
talking about the one where it was a goal line clearance or if it was before, because he had a couple during the game. There
Yeah.
was the one with the goal line clearance. This is what I've been saying the whole time. They played with 4 goalies. Everybody was just sitting on the line. It was literally like a wall. But that's really all South Africa had in this game. It was just defend, as we'll obviously get into it. Pass it back to the goalie. Crowd starts booing. They tried to catch Canada out a lot.
Hmm.
I think Canada wised up after about 15 minutes into the game that South Africa really didn't have any intentions of attacking, unless if it was a quick counter when Canada pushed up the field and just lobbed one over. But it was definitely that was Canada's first big chance, the Cornelius header.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I'll give my perspective on it there. I was sitting at a bar, and like when that happened, man, the one thought that came through my mind was almost oh no, like here we go again. Because to me, like think about all the pain that we've been through, just not only as like Canada soccer fans, TFC fans, whatever you want to say. that just felt almost like a condition like, yep, we're just not gonna get it today. When a ball that is that good right there doesn't get into the back of the net, it almost starts making you start to kind of have doubts. And I think that was something that kind of creeped into the mind of a lot of Canadian fans, especially as we kind of got further and further and further along into the match. Was that something that you guys shared at all, just as this match progressed?
Oh my God, definitely. The entire time I was just like, no depends. This is how it's gonna be. Like I've seen this movie. I've played these games before, man. It the chances are so few.
Hmm.
Gotta finish them because he missed the one against Switzerland as well, tied the game
Mhm.
up.
Yep.
He always finds himself in a good spot
Hmm.
for headers,
Just
but he just
can't
can't.
just can't
Yeah, can
finish.
I? I'm like, man, can I just put like prime fucking like CR7's head on you, please? Just like
We got to
bang it in,
get
man. Just bang it
we
in.
we we got to give him a noodle haircut, and then we're set.
Yeah. He's already got the
No,
bleach blonde hair. Just grow it out.
yeah, exactly.
Or just go
No,
skinhead.
I agree. I think it was I think frustrating was probably the word that I would use to describe it. I think we got close a few times that header, the goal line clearance. When Promise came on, I think he had a chance that just
Hmm.
went wide. He scuffed it a little bit, but it looked like it was, it was just like half a foot from going in. But I think, and I was yelling at the TV around like from the 55th, 60th minute onwards, because you had a feeling like Davies was going to come on. I know we'll
Hmm.
probably get to it, but the game really changed when he came on.
Yes.
I was yelling at it, and not to give myself credit, but I was saying like the minute he comes on, the entire South African team is going to have to drop back 5, 10
Mhm.
yards to deal with his pace. And they're going to have to
Yeah.
give him and everyone else just a few extra yards of space. And that's exactly what happened. His presence alone in that last 15 minutes changed the game completely. You could tell he wasn't 100% still. He was holding himself back. He wasn't taking guys on down the line that you expect him to. But just having him out there was such a difference. I don't know what his involvement's going to be like in in the game against Morocco, but yeah, I think up until Davies came on, up until we had that quality, it was just a very frustrating game.
Mhm. No, that's a great segue into absolutely what we should kind of go into next here is yes, Davies coming on and just absolutely changing the game. And the one thing that I think, and Ben, you kind of alluded to it there as well, you can see as soon as Davies got onto the pitch, everyone around him, their game also changes. You look at the way Jonathan Davis was playing, you look at how when Promise and Davies are on the pitch at the same time, you can just see that the vision of the game is just so much better and just so much more fluid. And again, Davies did not look 100%. You're entirely right in that fact. But just having him on the pitch and his presence and his ability completely changes this team. And I think that it would be fair to say almost that that kind of was the spark that Canada kind of needed in this one. Santi, I don't know your thoughts there, but just what was your kind of reaction with Davies getting to finally see some World Cup action and how he did?
Well, you knew it was always going to be a guaranteed momentum booster once Davies came onto the field. Obviously, Canada's captain, their greatest ever player. Like you knew just him stepping onto the field, you're going to spike fear into the South Africans, and that's exactly what happened. Yes, okay, he wasn't 100%, and he's had a lot of injuries the last 2 years, but you can't teach pace. That's one thing. It's either you have it or you don't, and he has it, and that scares the shit out of defenders. And also think about it. He came on to the left flank, played kind of left wing back role. You know who was there beforehand? It was Liam Miller. So
Hmm.
South Africa's defenders are like, oh, okay, we have this blonde guy. He's not going to do anything. He's gonna stop all momentum, just kind of stop on a ball and make one quick turn that works 1 out of 10 times. Okay, that's fine. Now here comes Alfonso Davies, the complete opposite, who isn't going to stop. He's going to take you on. And yes, at some points he did stop, but again, that's because he was not 100%. But I think Davies, yeah, like you guys said, like just completely changed the complexion of the game, which everybody knew was going to happen. I'm thankful they didn't have to go to extra time because obviously he was on a minute limit, and if they went to extra time, chances are wasn't going to play all 30 minutes, and you would have had to sacrifice your extra sub to pull him off for whoever else.
No, it definitely could have gotten dicey, but I guess that kind of is a good way to kind of bring us to the moment that didn't allow us to go to extra time and didn't allow us to go to penalties. Stephen Eustaquio. Immediate, just Canadian heritage moment, Canadian icon. I don't even really know where to begin with this guy and what he was able to do in that game because let's all remember, man, when we kind of go back and look at sort of the tide turning of this Canadian program and going back to the Herdman days and recruiting to nationals and kind of building this program up and laying the foundation for where we've come to now. Stephen Eustaquio is one of those first pieces that he got to commit to this Canada side. And for him to have that moment that sent Canada to the round of 16, I mean, I, I don't, it almost leaves you speechless. Genuinely. I don't know, you guys have thoughts on it, obviously, but that's mine.
Yeah, there's not many people on that pitch that are more deserving of that moment than Stephen Eustaquio. I think, especially with Davies being injured for as long as he has that he has. So he's popped in and out of the squad in between injuries, but he's been around the team obviously. So like him being a leader is I'm not questioning that, but he's worn that armband over the last little bit here. He's in this World Cup campaign, he's been the leader. Um, and for him to get that moment is just absolutely incredible. Again, and also another thing I really loved is he scores the goal and he doesn't run to the corner. He runs to the team.
Hmm.
He runs up the middle of the pitch. He doesn't go to the fans. Obviously, would have been probably better for the pictures and the photographers if he did run to the fans. But I love the fact that he ran to the team and it felt like he scored on behalf of the entire
Mhm.
program as a
Mhm.
representation of someone who's been there for as long as he has, like you said, Ethan.
No, that's a great point. Like, listen, I'm making the moment right now about him, but you're entirely right. Is That's exactly what he did, and it did feel kind of like the culmination almost of just something that has been building and building and building for such a long time. That to me is what that moment felt like, and it felt like kind of the release of energy, not only from the team, but from the fans in the stadium, from the fans wherever you were. Again, it just felt like something that had been brewing and brewing and brewing for years. Tones, I want to bring you back in here. Your emotions and your thoughts just when that moment happened.
Just definitely relief because, like I said, I was getting that bad feeling. So relief, euphoric, like there's just no greater feeling just in sports than just like it was a game winner essentially. It's a
Hmm.
game winner because you can celebrate it as if you also like you can also kind of celebrate the win at the same time. I know there was still a bit of time left, but I was like, they're not conceding.
It felt no,
That
it felt done when that happened.
the whole place erupted. Everyone I was with screamed, and it was like they scored a golden goal if that was still a thing, an overtime
Yeah,
winner,
Hmm.
and it was game.
Hmm.
And not only was it just such a historic goal, it was a great finish, man. That was a great
Yeah,
shot.
dude, unbelievable
Oh
finish.
my god, off the volley, man. When I seen the ball, also shout out Schaffelberg for actually
I
just
was just about to say I was.
bombing
Hmm.
down the wing and whipping it in. God forbid we do that a little more often.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Don't know why the South African defender was clearing it away from where the ball was coming from. You're always supposed to head it towards where the ball was coming from.
yeah,
They teach you that very young.
right up the middle of the
Right
pitch.
up the
Yeah,
middle of the pitch. When I saw him touch it, I literally yelled, shoot. I was like, shoot,
Yep.
yeah.
just do it,
Yeah.
let it rip. And he did. Oh, I was, man. I when I was walking back home, when I was limping back home because I had a blister on my foot, so I was limping. Oh, I forgot to put a bandage on it. It was tough. I was just it didn't really happen to me in there. Just got out. I was with people, but when I was just kind of just walking home, it was hitting me. I was like, man, I'm just getting so
Yeah,
emotional about it.
Hmm.
kind of the same. To just jump on the back of that, like it didn't really hit me. I had to work, so my shift started at 5, and the game ended at like 4:58 or something. So I got right into having to write a story about it or a Twitter reaction thing about it. So it didn't really hit me until like maybe 6 o'clock when I was like done. Like everything was done, and I was like, oh my god, wow! Like you get a moment to yourself, and you're like, oh my god, we just won a knockout round game. And then sorry, just again to piggyback on something Tones just mentioned. Yeah, we got to talk about some of the subs that were made here. Schaffelberg coming on. I think Tajon's had a really good tournament. I think he's been one of our better players. Maybe not the Switzerland game, I think it was, but I
Yeah,
think
that to me was a bad game
that's
for him.
yeah, Switzerland game. We were kind of flat all around that Switzerland game up until like the third
Hmm.
part of the game. But I think he's been a really good um, player for us this tournament. He didn't have a great game yesterday. Neither of the
Hmm.
wingers, I thought Miller or Buchanan had a
No,
very good
Mill.
game,
Yep.
either of them. And you saw the difference. Like Santia mentioned, Davies coming on for Miller, and Tones mentioned Shafi coming on for Buchanan. Even Davies being injured, the directness that they offered to this it's something that we really, really need. And Tajon can be direct. He just wasn't really up to par that game. But I think the subs were great. We didn't really talk about the 11. I'm curious, just out of curiosity, what you guys thought of the 11. A few different choices that could have been made there. I know the Fougerols didn't play. I thought he'd been really good when we've seen him. Tanny got the start, which I thought was surprising. But I thought the subs were great.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I thought that that was maybe the best managed game in terms of actual like substitution decisions from Jesse Marsh. And this is something that we've hit on kind of as this tournament has gone is some of the substitutions we've kind of said and some of the lineup decisions have been slightly questionable, right? And going back into the starting 11, I'll be honest, when I saw that DeFugero wasn't going to be in there and it was going to be Bombito for him and not Cornelius, that, kind of
I was
got
a
a
bit
little nervous
shocked.
there. The Liam Miller start, and again, obviously hindsight now is 2020, doesn't look very good. Tanny up top, again, I can kind of understand, but still not necessarily totally on board with him starting, especially going into this next game, but we'll kind of get into that as we go. But I thought the substitutions were absolutely perfect. I don't really have any problem with how he deployed our players, especially considering how he's had to manage this whole team, just given all the injury issues and of course with Davies. And I thought he played it perfectly, and I thought that it showed. And so I will give flowers to Jesse Marsh on how he managed that game.
Yeah, for me, I think the starting 11 was, like you guys said, questionable. Just to kind of go over the same ones. Somebody's got to ask Jesse Marsh genuinely why Liam Miller's playing because it's stressing me out watching him play because especially in this last game, every time he touched the ball, the momentum died
Hmm.
because he would stop, try to dribble around his guy instead of taking him on, and then half the time he would just lose it. He like the South African defender would just kick it out of his feet. But I think for me, what I want to see, especially with all these injuries, give Jade Nielsen a shot. Like you added him to the squad when Marcelo Flores went down with an injury. The poor guy hasn't played a minute, and you're coming off of like two poor performances in a row with Miller. I know Nielsen isn't super like used yet. I want to see him try. Also, if Promise David is healthy, I want him starting. He's been
Oh yeah,
incredible.
for sure.
Yeah. Collins, just kind of before we wrap up this conversation, any last kind of thoughts just on the subs, on Jesse Marsh, on that game in general, kind of before we look ahead here to this coming week?
Yeah, it's just mainly Miller. Like I don't know, just throw Ahmed out there, Schaffelberg. Like maybe Schaffelberg's a little better as like a super sub, just because he'll just be super direct against tired legs. I didn't really mind. I know you had said this like when the lineups first dropped. You were like, oh, like not like dropping Defuge over Cornelius is kind of wild. I get that, but also like him and Bombito have kind of been like the
Chemistry, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't say
Mhm.
wild, but I just think the Fougeroul play like
Has had such a good
those,
tournament in my
I just see
opinion.
it as
yeah,
we're kind of just blessed
Yeah.
with the
it's like
depth,
those are
especially since
yeah,
Bombito can't really play a full 90, clearly.
Mhm.
He
yeah.
keeps
No,
grabbing that damn leg.
no, it's very,
Uh
very valid point.
And
yeah,
sorry,
glad he
before
brought Eustaquio back into the lineup. Don't know why he was dropped in the Switzerland game. That was
I think
weird.
he had a bit of a knock.
A
Tightness.
bit of a
Okay,
knock in
fair enough.
training. We
Yeah,
Fair
weren't
he
enough.
sure
didn't he
what he
didn't
was going to
train.
be. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
Fair
He,
enough.
he, in my opinion, he did the right move with the Switzerland game again because you
yeah.
didn't know exactly what he's going to do, and so you don't want to put him in at the start of the game, and then oh shit, he can only go 30 minutes, and you're like, all right, well now that's a sub that's already burnt. So I'm
Mhm.
okay with that. All right, anything else here
But
before we
sorry,
move on?
yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Before we move on to Morocco, I just want to give a shout out because that is the first time that a CONCACAF team has won a knockout round game since 2014 when Costa Rica won.
there you
And
go.
apparently the US
Shout out
only has
Costa
one.
Rica.
Apparently the US only has one knockout round win as well. So
Lol.
that
Hmm.
could obviously change very soon, and obviously the formats changed a little bit, but we'll take it.
I think it's also
Take it.
the first ever injury time game winner for a team's first ever knockout game
I
win,
believe you're
something like
correct.
that.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah,
make
some
Breaking
crazy
sense.
records
stuff.
all over the place.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
yes. Look at that. And you know what? That's kind of a good, well, not necessarily a good segue, but let's take a look kind of at this Saturday here. I mean, Canada hopes to kind of continue, I guess, breaking their own records. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to connect the dots here. Not working too well. But yes, Morocco round of 16. It will be this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern time from the city of Houston, Texas. Obviously, guys, we saw what happened last night between the battle of two heavyweights. Just to kind of, put it bluntly, got to pens, and one of the wackiest penalty shootouts I've seen in a little while. And I think kind of yesterday that tied with the Germany Paraguay game. Also, just a bit of a wacky day in general. In the World Cup. I'll just kind of throw it out there to you guys. Taking a look at this game here, what do you guys? First of all, how do you guys see this matchup kind of playing out, and just what are your thoughts as we get into the round of 16, going up against a team that is very good?
I think
Whoever.
either way, it was going to be is. I mean, we're asking for a bit of a miracle here. I think both teams are, world heavyweights, seventh and I know we talked about the FIFA rankings a bit before, but um, seventh and sixth ranked team in the world. It was always going to be, a tough ask. I know Tones is going to disagree with me here because the Dutch didn't look great in that game against Morocco, and if you look at their track record over the last few tournaments, they actually have been pretty bad uh, relative to how their expectation. But I would prefer Morocco, so I was kind of happy that Morocco went through. It's going to be tough dealing with their pace, but the way I see it is you rewind the clock 4 years. We played Morocco in that third group stage game. We were a dejected side. We had lost the
Mhm.
first two. We were already knocked out. Didn't have much to play for except for a bit of pride. They got to the semifinal that year and only beat us 2-1. Now we weren't really in the game. I would say, we weren't close to it necessarily, but I think we've gotten a lot better over the last 4 years. We've added some experience. We're riding a wave. We're playing at home or as close to home as we can. I think the Morocco side isn't as good as it was 4 years ago. And I think, I don't know, there's just something about that Dutch side that kind of scared me. Those first three group stage games, they looked really good. And I know that game against Morocco, they're going up against a really good side. It's a bit different. But when they come in, if they were to have come and played Canada, I was concerned. So I'm happy that it's Morocco. Either way, it would have been tough. I just think everyone needs to have their best game for us to have a chance.
Yeah, for me, like you said, Ben, like either way is going to be a tough matchup, Netherlands or Morocco. A little bit of breaking news: Ronald Koeman just stepped down as Netherlands manager.
Oh,
Kind
okay.
of
Oh
figured
God,
that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Um,
terrible coach.
uh, yeah, oh yeah, he's
Tough,
not
Oh
tough
he's
my
not
era.
the
God.
not the greatest coach. Great defender
Mhm.
in his day, but not a great coach.
Unbelievable player.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, either way, we knew we were going to be going in as the underdog, whether it was Morocco or Netherlands. I had Morocco winning this game on paper, and then the fact that they were down 1-0 till the 91st minute, I was very baffled with that. The penalty shootout was insane. Like by far one of the greatest penalty shootouts I'd ever seen. I would have had a heart attack if I was Dutch or Moroccan. Thankfully, I'm not. But yeah, I think either way, it would have been tough to deal with. With Morocco, you have more pace and just they're going to be in your face and coming at you with the ball. And I think that's going to suit Canada, especially with the tactical changes they deployed against South Africa, where they kind of let South Africa have the ball sit back a little bit more. They play a high line, but they're very fast and physical at the back line. So I think the Morocco game will be interesting for sure. But I'm excited.
The thing is, for me, like just when I was looking at the two teams, who's the best player between the two? It's Achraf Hakimi.
Mhm.
Van Dijk's still class, but he's not what he used to be.
He's not what he
Hakimi's in
was,
his
yeah.
pro.
No, he's not.
Hakimi's
I'm not. Tones. I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
that guy is a serious problem.
Bro,
Like a
he's so
serious.
Mhm.
And
weird. He's so weird.
if
Oh
you're
my
telling
God.
me Liam Miller's going to be out there against him,
Yeah.
Oh,
fries in the bag, bro.
Oh
Fries,
yeah, yeah.
fries in the bag.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Because
Either way, like it doesn't. That's okay. Now, do we? How does Marsh manage Davies? Do we play Davies and just go? Okay, we're gonna go man for as long as you can, or do we have Miller just contain for 60 minutes and then bring on Davies
I don't
for
want to see Miller touching the pitch, bro.
I wanted more
or
defensive
whoever
winger.
else, whoever else, maybe Ahmed, whoever. I mean, I'm just trying to think of someone that can. I don't know.
I
If you
Handle him as
think
much as.
Davies is capable of just playing a defensive winger role, not so much a defensive fullback role, because that would just ask a lot more
Yeah,
of him physically. Like, sure, again, we don't. The fact that he was probably going to get subbed out
in extra
Probably
time.
not a good
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah, not a good
I
sign.
bet
I
He's
you,
mean,
probably not touching like 30 minutes in
no.
that game.
yeah, I bet you Marsh does something similar to what he did against South Africa,
Hmm.
where he just tries to contain Morocco for as
Hmm.
long as possible, and then seeing how bringing Davies on changed the game when he did. Hopefully, he just kind of does again, and we
Yeah,
steal it.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Is I think it is literally try and withstand as long as you kind of possibly can with that lineup. That a very similar lineup I would expect as well. Like you were saying, I do think that it's not going to be Liam Miller, just given the performance that he had. I mean, it's probably
He
like
shouldn't.
I think
Yeah.
you're throwing Ali
Oh,
Ahmed there or
we don't
something.
know.
Well, again, yeah, no,
Yeah,
listen,
I
I
mean,
don't, and that's why, we're sitting here and we're not, the coach of Canada, but like
yet.
it, true. Hey, you
Yeah,
never know.
give
Boys on
us
the field
time.
become
I'm working
co-managers.
on it.
But yeah, I think he looks to almost manage the game in a similar fashion, which is kind of try again. It's a bit different, obviously, but it's try and withstand and hold as much as you can, and then I think you just kind of let the dogs loose, and that to me is
Yeah.
bring on Davies, you bring on Promise, or bring on whoever, and just go balls to the wall in trying to get the win. That's
Some
again, it's going to be
I
a tough
and
matchup, but
and Marsh has mentioned as well. I think against Switzerland, how he was thinking about going to a three at the back at some point in that game.
mhm. Yeah,
I could see him using that from the jump against Morocco.
yeah, no,
yeah,
definitely
I
we
could.
got three center backs you can throw
I
out
could
there.
see that
Yeah.
because, like we mentioned, the depth the Tones mentioned.
You have three
He could do
proper
that.
center backs, yeah,
And
absolutely.
sorry, before we move on from Netherlands, because I know
Wait,
we only have a few more minutes here, I do need to mention Cody Gakpo. Shout out Gakpo,
yep.
even as a
Shout out
Liverpool
Gakpo.
player. That was a beautiful moment.
Hmm.
Him and his wife had a miscarriage recently, apparently, and scoring that goal,
Oh,
you could see the emotion with it. So shout out Gakpo.
absolutely. Santia,
One
before
quick.
you I think Santia has to go, man. He was sneezing, but he
Okay,
looks
Oh,
ready to
okay.
sorry,
speak.
I've
Santia.
been
Yeah,
dying to go. No, it's
Yeah.
okay. Gakpo's miscarriage child is more important than my points. I think Canada's they're gonna rely heavy, and their most important player is gonna be Richie Larea. I think against Morocco, he's a scumbag. We know it. We love it. He always
He's our
goats people
scumbag.
into fouls. Well, that's why we love it. But he
Hmm.
always tries to goat people into fouls. And if you look at Morocco's right flank, it's gonna be Brahim Diaz and Ashraf Hakimi. If you and we both know, like everybody, we know Brahim Diaz is part Portuguese. He's a little bit of a hothead. If you can piss him off quick and frustrate him, it's going to be a great day for Richie. And I think Jesse Marsh knows that, and I think that is by far going to be Canada's most important player, especially if we are going to sit back and let them have the ball. You have to goat them into fouls, and we know that's Richie's strength. Also, should have been a penalty against
Yeah.
Thingy.
All right, we
Yeah,
didn't even
I
talk about
think
so
that.
I
That
don't
shit
think
was
anybody's
garbage.
absurd.
gonna disagree with that one
Oh
there.
my God, that was
Do you
absurd.
guys think that thing was true that VAR wasn't working in the first half?
Is that what they're saying? I believe it
I
No,
don't
because
know,
no,
that
that
goal
was a
makes
joke.
but
That was
Maybe,
a
clear
meme account.
sense.
what I
but
want to
it's
say
a
about
joke. But
Morocco,
like, it's a
Oh
joke. But
no,
when
it's
you look
true.
back on that, it's crazy with everything else that happened in that game. We didn't even like talk about that. But like, I don't know another explanation.
Yeah, it's honestly it's
Like,
done. It's done. I don't even want
yeah,
to talk
we
about it. I
win.
don't
I
even want to
mean,
talk about it.
listen, we lose that game. We're sitting here and we're talking about that for you know
yeah,
forever. But I mean,
And
just yeah,
and
we got a couple
and
minutes here, boys.
it's
the
come. Sorry, Tones, go for it.
the thing with Morocco though that I can kind of see a glimmer of hope. I mean, like this is bad to say, but I don't know how bad the injury is. Chatty Riyad went off, hurt
Hmm.
one of their
Yeah,
starting center backs, and Diaz he had a good first two games, assist in both of them. Was really bad against Haiti, and he was not good against the Netherlands either. So Richie versus him is probably like my big marquee matchup.
Yeah.
If we can win that, and then maybe subdue Hakimi as much as possible, we can maybe get something
and
going.
then
But also, their midfield worries me though. They're gonna control
Yeah.
you.
Of course.
and then Sweden's gonna do us a favor right now, and then it's
God.
gonna be Paraguay, Sweden, and then we're gonna beat Morocco. It's coming north. It's
Oh,
coming
France
north.
not scored yet. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Hey,
nil nil.
hey, I like that for Ben.
Graham Potter masterclass.
Before we kind of get off here, we do have a Santia surprise, which we will get to in just one moment. But I want to get each of your guys' predictions for this Saturday, and then we'll get to the Santia surprise here.
I'll
I think
go.
it's going to Pens. I don't know what way, but
Who's
I
winning?
think this one's going the way. I can't. Don't
Okay.
ask me. The Canadian goalie for each team in that. Jesus, I don't know.
Yes, yes. He was born in
I'm,
Montreal. We all know, but you know what? He decided he didn't want to play here, and so we
Hey,
don't
don't
want him. We
say
got
that.
Crepeau.
we
You
We
got
don't
got
Crepeau. We don't need
Crepeau.
it. We don't need Bono. We got
We got
Crepeau.
Crepeau. Maxime Crepeau. Come
Oh
on,
my
man. We
God,
don't need him.
Max.
I
I'm going
say,
one. I'm going
go,
one
go.
nil. Extra time 1-0.
For
Extra
who?
time
For
for who?
Canada, for Canada, for Canada.
That's my
Okay,
boy.
Tones.
I'm going 2-1 loss.
Get him off. Get him
Boo!
out of here.
Ooh.
Boo! Sub him out.
Ooh.
Why are you
Sub him
speaking
out.
realistically? How
I
dare
am
you?
I am going to go. This one finishes 1-1 full time, extra time, and then Canada wins 4-3 Pens.
Oh, it's just a lot of
Bet on
goals.
I
that.
hope I'm wrong.
Bet
I
on
hope
that.
I'm wrong.
That
I
is
want to
my
be wrong.
prediction.
Oh,
All
on
right,
pens.
on
Oh.
Pens.
Yeah, that's what I was
4-3 on
like.
The
Pens.
Are you
4-3 way,
serious?
yeah, we're
No, no,
begging
no, no, no.
for
4-3
Bronco.
on Pens. 4-3 on Pens. 1-1 extra time, 4-3 on Pens. All right, we good?
Okay, boys. Are
All
you
right, Santia surprise. Santia surprise. Let's
okay?
finish it
So I
off.
know we haven't had one in a long time, so I wanted to make sure it was a good one. Now, I do have a feeling you guys are gonna get it, but which country is the first country to ever win a round of 32 knockout in the World Cup?
Oh, I don't know.
Canada.
Yeah!
And we're written in history, boys.
Come
Written in history.
on!
I was excited for this. I was so excited for the
Vamos.
Santiago surprise. I was hyped. I was like, I want to get this right.
Come on! Is that not a
Hey, you
good
got it
one?
right. You got it right.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know
I got it
what?
right.
It was a Santia surprise. It was still a trivia question. It's a trivia question we can all be
We'll take
happy
it. We'll
with
take
and
it.
be
Yeah, we'll
proud
take
of.
it, boys. It's
Uh,
Canada special.
but yeah, no, there you go. Canada, Morocco, round
It's
of
coming north.
16 at the World Cup. Ben thinks it's coming north. 1 o'clock this Saturday. That'll pretty much do it here for us, unless anybody's got any final thoughts. We don't. All right. I'm Ethan Gabor. They've had Ben Griffith, Anthony Santia, Anthony Lancioni. Thank you so much for checking us out here. Go Canada and check out Offside Boys.
Stay
Whoa.
outside.
Bosh.